Hello, I'm Scott Bogey here with Chris Padilla ahead of his fight at the UFC this weekend against Rongsu. I think that's how you pronounce it. How
Yeah,
how how has this fit camp been for you?
fight camp's been good, man. I'm training all season, so really it was just more of everything's already sharp, everything's been worked on. It was just about okay, this is our opponent, this is his weaknesses, and we got all the tools to take them apart. So yep, I wouldn't say really much of a fight camp, just training.
And when did you find out about this opportunity?
I think I had like the 8 weeks, 7, 8 weeks, something like that.
And obviously, this is your second fight in the UFC. The first fight was against James Luntop, which you did get the first round really controlled victory. How was that fight?
It was textbook, man. Obviously it was short notice, but like I said earlier, I don't really take any time off in between fights. I'm not really in camp. I would say I'm just always training. So all it took was just to watch probably like 2, 3 days of his film, if that, and just execute the weapons we already know we have. Like, just I feel like when you're always training, you're always improving. It's just looking through the files and going, okay, he does this wrong. This is where he's least comfortable at. These are where his losses at. These are where his wins are. So we take him out of that game. So yep, yeah, textbook, man.
And did you feel like you always staying in camp, always being ready, that just cements your position in the UFC? You're always ready whenever they need someone to just step in.
Yeah, I think the one, and even more important than like a short notice, it's always improving. I'm competing with the best of the best right now, so like my game can't ever stop improving. Like I can't ever just like to strike or like to grapple or like to wrestle or like to kickbox. Like the game always has to be evolving. You're and there's so many nuances to MMA. I always like to say, like, sometimes you'll fight two different wrestlers, but one wrestler's a kickboxing wrestler versus the other guy's a jiu-jitsu wrestler. So you can't really ever get comfortable thinking, oh, I can stop wrestlers or I can do that. No, the game's always changing. People are always coming in with different little tools. And so you always have to be improving because you never know where you have to take a short notice against a guy from this country or that country or this part of the world, with this type of game. So I always like to compare it to I'm in a Shark Tank right now, and at the end of the day, man, if they smell blood, they're gonna eat. So I'm not here to be a bait for anybody. So yep, always improving, man. Just always trying to stay ahead of the game.
And in that last fight, was there anything that surprised you about James or anything that didn't quite go to plan?
Nope. I was ready for everything he was going to bring. I knew he was going to he has good footwork, good defense, uh good strikers. I know he's a very bold fighter, very aggressive, and he showed all those things when he came to fight me. My job was to take my time, just don't be emotional, don't fall into his game, and that's what his game is. It's not even just striking, just that fighting more for my ego, going, oh, I can outstrike him, or oh, I can just out wrestle him. Like you don't want to just think you can out wrestle, out strike. Like we're all of us are good fighters, man. We all got jujitsu pedigree. We all got some form of wrestling. We all got some form of martial arts experience. Again, we're MMA fights. Sorry, my dogs are starting to bark, but yeah, we all got some type of MMA experience. So I expected everything. I expected what if I can't take him down? Well, I'm gonna use takedowns and striking. What if I can't outstrike him? So yeah, I was ready for anything, man, personally.
And like you were saying before, it just taking the fight on a short notice is probably just 2 to 3 days of watching film. How much do you value the film study? And do you just watch it on your opponents or on yourself as well?
I watch my fights every day. I watch my opponent's fights every day. I watch classic fights every day. I watch new fighters every day. I watch Muay Thai every day, wrestling. jujitsu, everything. I stay in the lab, man, because there's so many nuances, like I mentioned earlier in the
Yeah.
game, that like there's throwback things that still work that a lot of guys think, oh, that's not relevant anymore. But man, if a world champion, and I won't say just a world champion, if a fighter used this specific skill to win, that means it can be used anywhere in the game. You know, I was just watching it's this show called it was an African fight show. It was on this weekend. I was watching, and a lot of the guys are most of their fighters were strikers, but it was this one guy who just did MMA so well, and he was making his debut. So when I saw a guy making his debut and how well he fought, I was like, man, the game is still still so much to learn. I learned from watching his fight. So I don't usually, like, sometimes I watch as a fan, but for the most part, uh I'm always watching every show I can get my hands on, because I never know if I might have to see this guy coming up, you know? So, yep, I'm always watching film.
And do you feel like that gives you the advantage where some fighters may just watch their opponents? However, you're watching any show that you can get your hands on, even the obscure ones in the ones like you're saying, the show in Africa, you're still watching that, you're still learning, seeing what's happening, seeing what's being able to get the victory to implement that in your own game.
Yes, yes, I do believe it gives me the edge, because uh uh like fighting, I was just talking to one of my students about this. Fighting is about reactions. You know what I'm saying? It's about who can sell someone a certain reaction, or get your opponent to react a certain way. And if you can get the other guy reacting, you're halfway to the victory, you know? So me watching like, let's say like a George St. Pierre fight, right? Me watching him throw the jab, pump fake the jab, watch the guy go to parry, and then watching him duck under to get to a single leg, and then watch how George finishes single leg. Uh, all We're all human, so we all got two eyes, two legs, two arms. We all want to protect our head from getting punched. So what's the most common defense for a jab? The parry. So me watching George do that over and over and over, and then going, when I'm in a fight, sometimes it's my subconscious that picks up those little things. Like, my regular brain can be picking up this thing, but my subconscious can be picking up a whole other tool set. So me watching the greats do it, it's like, okay, I can do that. Okay, how do you figure out that timing? It just makes you ask questions, and the more you ask questions about the game, man, just like anything, you find out. You know, so I'm always asking questions. As if I don't have the answer to the questions, just watching fights will sometimes trigger a question where I was like, damn, I didn't even think about that, and
Yeah.
it'll give me that answer. So, yep, I love being a fight nerd, man. Anything I love, I'm always going to dive into it 1,000%.
I never know that could get you into the fighting nerds. You never know.
I'm the member who never joined, and I like what's his name, uh the Brazilian dude.
It's like Chow Borhal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan of his fighting too. I just watched him fight Killer Gorilla, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed that fight. I thought he fought a very smart fight. Just watch how he was bouncing, how, and Killer Gorilla is a crazy guy to stand with. So to watch him outstrike him and then hurt him, like, you could tell he's done his homework. And I appreciate any athlete that takes this to the utmost seriousness. Like, and there's no knock at guys who don't watch film. Some guys, it's just not in their that's not in their nature. But guys who take the game 1,000% serious, training, diet, conditioning, the mental part of the game, I admire those guys. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the fight nerds.
And what was your reaction when you finally found out you got that UFC chance, you got that contract?
Man, my reaction was, shit. If dreams come true, man, here it is. This is my opportunity to fucking make this dream come true. So, uh, the biggest thing, man, and I think anyone could speak to this. And I'm sure you can speak to this too as an interviewer. Like, you want to know how far you and how deep all this goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and fighting at the local scene it was super great, man. I love fighting in front of my friends, family. I love the local promotions. Shout out to Up Next. But I want to know, can I be one of the greatest? Can I show up and fight to the highest caliber, to the highest level? Am I as smart as I think I am? Am I as tricky as I think I am? Are my skill sets like, what is all this? You know, can I challenge myself to the highest degree? And I think that's what was more important to me. Like, I want the numbers, I want the record, and on top of it, I can make a shit ton of money on top of it, man. Shit. That's that man. Like I said, as an interviewer, I'm sure you feel the same way with interviewing. You want to know how deep can you take it, man? You know,
Exactly,
so
yeah.
I think I'm just like anyone else, man. Or anyone who wants to touch greatness. Like you just want to know how far can this go, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, the difference between the regional shows and the UFC is the pay. However, apart from that, what do you feel like the biggest difference between these regional shows and the UFC is?
Man, the UFC don't play, man. They just don't play with nothing, bro. Like the UFC don't like everything is on schedule, everything is preset. They literally have somebody that runs everything. There's someone that runs this, someone that makes sure the poster signs, someone that makes sure that if you need a massage, you can call. Somebody makes sure your meal preps are done. They got like 8 people controlling meal prep. So like it just feels like, yeah, bro, it just feels like there is no room for error. You know, your schedule has to be set so they know where you're going to be. The drug testing, everything, like everything is uh uh just managed, you know, like but just being able to show up to shows like bro, I'm getting interviewed by Daniel Cormier, Dominic Cruz, like legends of the game, man. And like feeling that, just like man, you just look around, you're just like, oh, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is man, this is perfect. This is perfect. And I just that's why like again, that's why I just take this so serious, man, because this is something I've wanted since I was 13 years old. I'm 28 now, you know? So like so I don't cut no corners. I'm not trying to bullshit. I'm not trying to half-ass it. Like let me go give everything. So however this does turn out, I can be like, hey, bro, I gave everything. I put everything into this, and whatever happens, shit, I gave everything. So yeah, UFC is great, man. It's so hyped up. It's so man, it's just so much. But the biggest thing for me was it's just a cage. It's just a cage. And you're standing in front of someone who believes they are the one of the best. I think that was the biggest thing from the regional to the UFC was, and it's not to say that this guy's better than that guy on the regional. It's
Yeah.
just he believes it. He really does believe it. And some guys, or he's also put in the work that helps him believe it. You know, sometimes regional guys they just believe it, but they don't put in the work. Sometimes they put in the work, but a lot of it that mental stuff gets them. You know, but in the UFC, it's like no, most guys believe it. I won't say they all put in the work, but I will say a lot of those guys believe they are there to be the one. So that's why it's my job to.
And do you feel like there is any pressure on you to perform, to put on that show? Because obviously there is fighters like Mukayev who claiming he got cut because of his heavy wrestling style, and then Carl Williams, he's also said the UFC has pressured him on stopping taking that takedowns. Do you feel like there is any pressure in putting on that stand-in battle?
I feel like for me personally, no, I don't feel pressure on me. I know the pressure is there for athletes because I mean, if you watch Contender Series, like you see what they
Yeah.
want, like you know what they want. They want entertainment, they want finishes. But for me, if you look at my records, it's naturally in my style to finish guys, and I don't have to try to finish guys. That's why I study the game so hard because as I watch guys work, I don't have to create the finish. You'll create the finish because through 15 minutes, everyone makes mistakes. You know what I mean? Everyone, me,
Yeah.
the guy across, everyone makes mistakes. But if I'm clear-minded enough to see that mistake, I'll take advantage of it. So that's why even with the Yontop, I didn't plan to finish him in the first round. If you listen to the interviews, it was I wanted to go 15 minutes because
Yeah.
I'm a UFC fanboy, so I'm in here I'm trying to enjoy being in this cage and the whole scenery. But he made a mistake. I took him down. He tried to rush to get up like he did the other two times, and he gave me his back. And I've done this long enough that if I see a back and I can get my arm around your neck, I'll mangle you. So I don't feel the pressure. Mokayev, I'm gonna say that was a different scenario because why could you imagine creating a bunch of drama? Like
Yeah.
bad enough the UFC doesn't want all the drama. Like they tell you they don't want it. I know that people think it's entertaining and they think the UFC wants that entertainment. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they use it, but they don't want it. And then to have it and then to give us that type of fight, it's like, bro, you're playing games now. You can't those three things don't go together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You
So
back it up.
if Khabib got it, Islam got it, and in my opinion, Mokayev does do entertaining things. Slamming is entertaining. He throws jumping knees, he throws spinning crap. So that he does have a form of entertainment. It's just too much drama for not nothing they don't really like. So yeah, but personally, I don't feel any pressure. I'm gonna do me, and that's just how I work.
And what have you seen from your opponent to like you're going to take advantage of this weekend?
I see. He's a pretty skillful guy, man. He seems like he has uh, he likes to play his game, and his game has got him far. But I play all games. Like that's the thing. Like there's a level to playing your game versus I can play any game. I don't need to take you down. I can strike. I can strike. I can take you down. I believe I am I'm the ultimate MMA fighter. Like I don't enjoy striking. I don't enjoy grappling. I enjoy winning. So and for my opponent, I see a guy who wants to fight a certain type of fight. And if you want to fight a certain type of fight, there's too many holes in that type of mentality. So I'm going to take advantage of that want to play that game. So I'm gonna pull him out of the game and I'll get him out of there, whether it's TKO, KO, or choke, or even a decision. That's the thing. I'm just gonna play the game, see what's given to me.
Exactly. And once you're able to get that victory, you will be 2 wins in the UFC. Who do you want next?
I was just looking at uh his name is Mark Madison.
Mark
He's an
Madison.
Olympian. The Canadian Olympian.
Yeah,
Uh, I've always wanted to face a very high level wrestler just to see how my game holds against it. I think I'm a really really good grappler, and I've already faced going to be two strikers, and I've already kind of proved my game. I think my last four fights have been against strikers. So and I've proven my game against uh high level strikers. So I think Mark would be a great fight. Again, I would like to face an Olympian. I almost got a hold of one, but he ducked me, so that's fine. I know Mark wouldn't duck me. He's a high level competitor. He's competed at the highest level, so that would be a great win. And I think he's like I think he's ranked 2 or 3 spots ahead of me on the world ranking. So it makes sense. And he's already fought very high level fights in the UFC. I know he beat Clay Guida. Um, yes, so that'd be super sick. And it just for me, we know who's at the top of the division. Islam.
yeah.
One of the better wrestlers, better grapplers in the world. So I already know that has to be a part of my arsenal. So I need to know now. I don't want to wait till I get there and be like, oh, my grappling's not that good. Like I want to know now. So if I beat him, boom, my grappling is as good as I thought it was. If I lose, well, time to go back to the drawing board and fix it. So yep.
And of what has been the most strangest thing you've had in the octagon so far? I know speaking to a lot of fighters, it's fighters who talk to them in the cage, or even smack talk them in the cage. What have been the strangest thing you've encountered?
In the cage, um, I guess like for me, I think that's the most dialed in I've ever been for a fight. Like I was dialed in, man, like the whole time. So I guess just watching my opponent make funny faces at me, like it wasn't fun, like he wasn't making funny faces, but he just looked real angry. And I was just like, man, this dude is cooking, bro. Why is he so upset? Like I know it's a fight and I know we got to get in there and do our thing, but like I just didn't feel any emotion. So to see somebody at at a high level show so much emotion, kind of, which I feel like sometimes I'll give like these guys because they're in the UFC more credit
Yeah,
than they probably deserve. But nah, he was just real emotional. I could see it in his face, so that it just made the fight easier. So I knew I could see the frustration, me kicking you, me hitting you with little strikes, and you're not being able to get to me the way you want to. So I think that was the funny one for me, just watching him get upset. I mean, we couldn't really talk unless he was gonna yell at me in Spanish, but my Spanish is so I didn't have to worry about that.
that sounds great. Thank you for coming on. That was great, and I know you're going to smash it this weekend. I'll give you the final word. Anything you're wanting to say, anyone else you're wanting to shout out?
Yeah, man, I just want to thank God, man. This has been a wild, going to be 3 years for me, man. And yeah, man, just I just like to appreciate just the opportunity that's been presented. Uh, it's man, I never thought I was going to be able to get this opportunity and just to have it, and just to be able to prove myself to myself and also my peers that I can be and will be one of the greatest of all time. It means everything to me, man. And just shout out to all the people out there, man, who are grinding, who are trying to see the same thing, man. Just know opportunity will always present itself. The question is, will you be there to answer? So just keep grinding, guys. Don't let anything stop you. Always figure it out. Don't matter what it is. If you don't figure it out and you quit, then don't be surprised when you don't get to see it. Or worse, when it does present itself, but you quit already, you know? So just
Yeah.
good luck to all the people out there, man. Much love.
Well, that sounds great. Thank you for coming on, and I wish you the best of luck.
Hey, man. Likewise. Good meeting you, man. Good talking to you. And after the fight, you already know you can hit me up and we can get back and run it back.
Definitely. Thank you very much.